Hello everybody, my name is Tenelin, and it's been a little over 1 week since Cosmic Exploration has come out. I just wanted to put a video together just talking about my thoughts and feelings on everything in Cosmic Exploration so far, and just kind of giving a week-long review back onto what I've done so far, how my progression is going, what I've loved, and what I've kind of not liked as much. So here it is. Now, this video is a lot different from me because this is not scripted. I'm going to just kind of go on a little bit of a ramble talking about my experience so far. So I do hope you found this video helpful. I've got a ton of different guides that I've put out for Cosmic Exploration if you haven't seen them all on my channel. So be sure to check those out if you've been struggling with anything so far. And let me know down in the comments section if you agree with my takes or you have some problems that you've been having or things that you've just been loving in Cosmic. I'd love to hear your thoughts overall on the content coming out. Now, I do know I'm a little bit of an anomaly. I'm sure there aren't going to be people that are nearly as far as I am in a lot of the content so far, and a lot of people haven't put out as much time as I have. But at the same time, if you look in my Discord, there are people much further ahead of me. I've got a ton of different people that have already finished all of the Relic tools, and one person that's already got over 200,000 points in their alchemist job. So I know that I'm kind of, I don't know, maybe in the middle ground. I put a lot of time into making a lot of videos in that first week, so I didn't get to play as much as I wanted to, but at the same time, I also like to take my time a little bit more and just kind of enjoy the content as I can. I don't like to rush through what's going to hold me off for the next couple of months until the next planet. So I have been kind of just taking it as a chill pace, but I guess I should probably show you what I mean. I do have 5 of my Relic tools done, and I'm working on the other 6 at essentially the same pace, except for Botanist. I'm going to probably do this one last because I did Miner just to get an idea of what the gathering tools would be like, and I am primarily focusing on crafting for now. I have a decent amount of points in every job, but I haven't really delved into point farming completely because I have just been slowly grinding out the relics when I had time. So let's start there. What do I think about the relics in the process in which we are upgrading these? I actually think this is so much better than any of the previous relic steps. This is an enjoyable, fun, new way to do things, and I especially think that the crafter relics is one of the best systems that they've put out into this game. This is a really forgiving system that invites new players in to be able to go experiment and try things when it comes to crafting. You don't have to worry about getting any crystals or clusters. You don't have to worry about materials. You just come in here, you choose a mission, they give you everything you need, and you can go in here and just press buttons willy-nilly and figure it out for yourself. It also relieves that anxiety of wasting those materials if you end up failing your craft. So I think this was a really cool way to do so. And I really like the progression system of this, where you get additional currencies, you get additional rewards, you have some achievements you can work towards with the cosmic points, all of these different systems that they've put together into this awesome map that just builds this community of players doing something together. This is what I was really hoping for when they first announced Cosmic Exploration. I was really hoping it would be a fun way to get a community together, to work together on a goal, which is really the heart of an MMO to me. But back to the relics themselves. I think this is a fun system that allows for anybody to jump in at any time. I know I have heard some conflicting information on whether or not leveling is a little bit harder, but from what I've seen from my personal friends, leveling isn't that difficult in Cosmic Exploration. It is a little bit slower when you compare things like Leaves or the Firmament, but that's because all of the ingredients are immediately given to you when it comes to crafting specifically. You don't have to spend all of that time getting materials or all of that gil getting materials in order to actually be able to do the crafting, to be able to level. The experience is essentially free. It's just a little bit of effort on doing the actual thing that you want in order to level. So I think this is a good trade-off. I really do think that Cosmic is going to be a fantastic way to level, and I do plan on actually making an alt in the future to reflect back to see how it actually is for myself. But that's probably not something I'm going to do for a while now. My biggest pointer that I would give anybody that is looking to level, from what I have seen, you need to have the nearest level 10 gear to where you are. So if you're like level 23, you need to have level 20 gear, and you should upgrade at 30, 40, 50, 60, etc. This merchant and mender that I'm looking at here on the southeastern side does sell all levels of gear that you can actually just buy for guild directly from them. So as you level up in the zone, you can just constantly replace your gear for very cheap. You don't have to buy the high quality gear off the market. You don't have to go get script gear. You can use this gear and get by. And the fact that these tools start at level 10 is a really, really neat idea. It doesn't lock people out for not being a level 100 character. They can get in here and start doing these relic progressions immediately. Now, I know that some people say that there is the downside that you don't get to use the tool really if you're a level 100 until you do complete it, get it all the way up to that level 720. And I do agree. It is a little bit of an issue that you are you're not punished, but you're stuck upgrading your relic before it actually becomes viable. And I don't know that there's I think this is just a sacrifice that we have to make it so that more people can enjoy the content. And for me, I would rather have more people enjoy the content than have content that's locked out for only high level people. Because there is so much content already in Cosmic that is also available for only high level people. There are plenty of really difficult high level pieces of content that balance out so that people at any level can have something that they find fun. There are the sequential missions, which if you're not familiar with, any of the missions that have the 1 at the end, if you complete this mission, you will unlock a level 2 of that mission, and then there are some that even have a level 3 of that mission, with more of them coming in the future. I won't say too much in that aspect, but we are going to be upgrading our bases, and there is more to come in this patch cycle for Cosmic Exploration. We're not done doing all of these upgrades, and so there will be more things to come and more higher level difficult content. On the subject of the sequential missions though, I really like that they added in both time restricted and weather based missions. So if you're not familiar, this second tab here, the way that these work is I actually have a macro set up here. This is the cosmic timers. Each of these different jobs is only available for a 4-hour window throughout the Orzian day, where you get access to these special A1 missions that give you a lot more points for your cosmic classes than any of the other missions that you can do. You'll only see these if you have the A rank missions unlocked for that job. So that's why I have this kind of balance of all of my jobs starting to get the A rank missions so that I can actually see all of them. And you can actually get research points towards that job if they have access to at least level 3 research. And if you get level 4 research, which my Fisher doesn't have yet, this mission would actually give me 3 and 4 if I had the level 4 unlocked. So this is one of the ways that I'm looking to see if it's actually better to just finish up your tools doing this. I'm currently about to upgrade my alchemist tool to get the level 4 research, and so that's my goal right now, is to actually get the rest of my tools unlocked with level 4 research, and then I'm going to just focus on doing the time gated missions, the time restricted missions rather. And then there's also the weather restricted missions, which are a little bit more RNG because the weather is not a set pattern. It is kind of like a set pattern, but it's not set from day to day of like, oh, at 3 p.m. my local time to 5 p.m. my local time, the weather will be certain thing. I'm actually using this website called Nekobot that has a tracking of the Sinus Ardorum. And as you can see, it lists the local time when the weather is going to change. And the two things you're looking for in particular are the umbral wind, which will happen in 1 hour and 55 minutes for me. And then there's also the moon dust weather, which I'm not going to have the next moon dust until 4 hours and 15 minutes from now. This is the website I'm personally using to track these. And these weather missions, if you take a look at this here, this I'll have linked in the description as well. This is a fantastic document by Fia of Balmung. They put together this incredible document that kind of breaks down all of the different crafter missions that are currently available, even showing the ones that we're going to unlock eventually. And it breaks down the score per minute, especially if you're going for like star contributor, or if you want to go for those achievements of the 50k class points or even the 500,000 class points. This will show you which missions is best to do. And it also has a second tab that's just for weather farming. There are only one type of mission for the weather farms, so you can use that same macro over and over, and you can get an insane amount of score. These are up to nearly 500 score per minute when you compare those to any of the normal missions or even the sequential missions. They don't bring in nearly as much score. The weather restricted missions are the highest ones that you can get. And this is just fun. I really like this system where you have all of these different choices of things that you can do to be able to progress your account in various ways. There are goals of just getting the relic tools done. There are goals of just getting lunar credits or normal credits. And then there are goals of getting your class points for all of those different types of achievements. And then I keep saying these achievements, but if you don't know what they are, click on this all disciplines button. Sometimes you have to click it twice to actually make it bring this up. But if you scroll down, you can see earn a cosmic class score of 500,000 points as every disciple of the hand will get you a Starlighter. You get Starfinder for all of the lands, and you'll get this mount for 500,000 points of all of them. And then you can even go down into individual jobs, and if you scroll to the bottom, you'll be able to see there's an achievement for 50, 150,000, and 500,000 points, with the 500,000 giving a unique title for every single job. The Temperer of Stars, the Forger of Stars, the Stitcher of Stars, all of these titles are really cool. I'm a big fan of long-term grinds that just give you something to flex about. Titles are fantastic reward. But for the other rewards, you have things like the lunar credits and the Cosmo credits. And now there's so many new things in here for the Cosmo credits that you can get. There's new face wear, there's new emotes, new framers kit. You can get all of these different dyes, which we've also got new dyes. And then you have materia. Now, if you're like me, I'm preparing for 7.3, so I've been spending my extra Cosmo credits picking up some materia, especially the crafter materia, to make sure that I'm ready for that patch. And then you have lunar credits. This fantastic reward system of being able to just spin this wheel to get some cool rewards is fun and enjoyable. I like that all of these are tradable, so if you get duplicates, you don't feel bad. You can sell them, give them to your friends, etc., etc. This is a fun little system that I'm sure will probably get a little annoying eventually when you unlock everything, but I do hope they add some new rewards as time goes on, because of course we're getting 3 more planets. The fact that this is only the first planet of 4 is crazy to me. I feel like they've cooked so hard on just this individual planet that I would probably be okay. I wouldn't be happy, but I would be okay if this was all of the content that we were getting for Cosmic Exploration. And that really says something. I think they've done a very good job of developing this content in a fun and enjoyable way. This is where I get into just the minor bits of spoilers, but Brynhilder did recently just finish our 6th log upgrade, and we actually extended our Cosmo liner to the northwestern side of the map here. So now we actually have this fast travel ability up into the northwestern corner, which is really just a fun new way to be able to travel the map. I personally don't think we are getting mounts in this map zone. I just don't see that that's going to be a thing. I know some people have probably speculated so. I don't think it's happening, and I don't think we need it. Having the extension of the Cosmo liner out into the corner of the map here, and we know that Cactar, I believe, is the one that's about to get it into the southeastern corner of the map as well. Having these available in a cool, new, unique way to travel the map is enough for me. Now, let's talk about one of the things I'm not a big fan of, and I know a lot of the community is also saying this. Gathering is a little bit of a problem. The lack of GP regeneration between nodes just really ends up where you are gathering one, doing a single mission, waiting 2, 3, 4 minutes to be able to do your next mission. And I don't really have a good solution. I understand why it is the way that it is. I don't really think that there should be the ability to just get your GP back after the end of a node. But I don't know what's the solution. I don't think they thought about the speed in which you're going to be doing these missions and how much is going to really slow you down waiting for GP when you compare it to crafters who are able to just spam missions back to back to back to back. So I don't really know a good solution here. I think that there has to be something that they could have done specifically only for cosmic exploration, such as just giving your GP back at the end of the mission. That would have probably solved the problem, but I don't think that at the end of every node you gather out in the real world, you should get your GP back, because then they have to completely rebalance all of the yields and the breakpoints and how everything works when you're gathering. I think as it is already, there's the ability to gather way more items way quicker than you need them, even with the skill setup that we have. I think adding the ability to have your GP on every single node would make things way too crazy. You'd be able to gather so many items so quickly. But I do think cosmic exploration does need a change, but I don't think we'll see anything. I think this is just a harsh reality of what we'll have to deal with, and I don't know that there's anything that they can really do. I have heard some ideas of maybe we add in like a passive onto the cosmic pools to buff the GP rate while in the cosmic zone. That would be awesome to me. I think if you got 2 or 3 times GP regeneration because you were wearing your cosmic tool while only in the cosmic zone, I think that would help a lot. Or even make that outside of the cosmic zone. I think GP regeneration is an underutilized stat. I think you should be able to buff it in some way, shape, or form, especially when you consider cordials only give 400 GP at this point, and we have up to 1,000 with foods. I think 400 GP is an outdated number. We probably need to buff that to at least 6, but if not 800 for cordials. They need to have a higher level recipe that we can make some cordials that give more GP. And now, since a red alert has popped up, I'll go ahead and talk on this and the Mech Ops. These are both really fun, enjoyable events to me. I know that a lot of people will get tired of them. They're going to be repetitive. You're not going to enjoy them. But I actually think red alerts in particular are going to have such longevity because they are really, really good for doing lunar credit farming. And I think a lot of people are going to want to roll that wheel as much as they can. And even giving you Cosmo credits, the red alerts are fantastic for that. And they give the second most amount of points for your Cosmic Class Tracker. So I think red alerts will have insane amount of longevity. Also, with Mech Ops, I know people are probably going to get tired of having to do the Mech Ops again and again. But the fact that they give you a 20 mission credit booster is probably the most interesting thing that they've put into Cosmic Exploration in terms of making an event needed, I guess. They really put in the time and thought of why would somebody want to do this in terms of everything that they thought about. Sorry, I'm going to backtrack here to Gatherer because I forgot to touch on Fisher. One thing that I saw a lot of people complain about was the RNG of fishing. And that was before I started doing fishing. I had a lot of people asking me in my comments section to give them to put out some kind of video covering fishing because a lot of people were really, really struggling with what they could do. They couldn't figure it out. That made me worry. I was a little nervous to actually try fishing for myself because of how people were saying it was really difficult. And at first, I agree. I really had a frustrating time trying to understand and figure out each of the different fishing missions in particular because they were a little bit confusing. But once I was able to figure them out, to sit down and understand and take some information from the community, because that's what fishing is all about. Fishing is understanding what you're working with. And this document that the Fisherman's Horizon put together is exactly what you need. I'll put this in the description, but this breaks down every single mission, all of the different fish that you can catch in each fishing spot, and has an insane amount of detail. With this document, you will have a much better time fishing, and for me, I actually found fishing to be one of the most enjoyable things that I've done so far in Cosmic, and I actually am not dreading that 500,000 point grind now, because if you haven't noticed, I am going to be going for all 500,000 points. But that's enough yapping from me. I've kind of given you my thoughts on everything so far, and this has probably just been a convoluted ramble video, but I hope you found some kind of use out of it. Let me know down in the comment section what your thoughts of Cosmic are. I'm very curious to see the general thoughts now that we have been out for a week. I know that there were a lot of people that were having some problems in the early times, but I think a lot of that stuff kind of got fleshed out and more people are actually enjoying than they are having problems with it at this point. That could be my bias though. I really enjoy all of that content in Final Fantasy, and that's really what keeps me playing at this point. The story is fantastic, and I love everything about the game, but the crafting and gathering is really what keeps me going in this, and Cosmic really hit the nail on the head for me. I really am excited to see where we end up going with Cosmic, especially with the fact that we're getting 3 more planets. I can't really wrap my head around doing 3 more planets of this. I am now going to be on the edge of my seat between every single patch. Very excited to see what we get travel to in the future. And of course, thank you all so much for the support and watching my little videos. I've had a lot of fun putting together all of these different videos, and it really just makes me feel good being able to help people out and to provide an insight that allows them to enjoy the game as much as I do. I want to give a special thanks here to all of my members of my channel. You too can become a member for only $1 a month. That'll get you access to most of my videos a little bit early. As well, you'll get a cool high quality symbol down in the comments section and a unique role if you'd like to join my Discord. Speaking of my Discord, please check that out in the description. It's filled with a bunch of people that have been just enjoying, learning, and playing together, and we've had a really fun time over there. I really enjoy the community that we've built, and I invite you to join in if you'd like to find a group of people with a similar mindset. Anyway, that's enough for me. Have a good one.